Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Goddess Mom. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I'm a mom of 4 and I'm actually a therapist and a love coach, and I love spreading messages of love and kindness and peace to this world. But anyway, for my YouTube channel today, so I've been asking around a lot of my Asian friends for a really fun topic. And well, this is not a very scientific answer to these questions that I've been asking them, but it's for fun, so don't take it seriously. So I asked all my Asian friends, what is the secret to us keeping slim and I guess kind of healthy for life? Now, let it be known, in England, Asian means predominantly somebody of Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Sri Lankan heritage. But for me, Asian also means Japanese, Korean, Thai, Filipino, Indonesian, Laos, Vietnamese, Singaporean, and Malaysian. So you see, there's a lot more countries to Asia than people deem in England. So for my topic today, I will be referring to Southeast Asian women plus Japanese and Korean, and that whole region. So the question again is, how do we keep slim? So I'm in my 40s, and I guess I'm kind of almost the same size as I was when I was 18. I used to wear size 34, European size, and of course I had very little boobs then, I had very little ass. I was not very athletic, and then I moved to size 36, and now I actually prefer, for comfort, being a mom of 4, I prefer to wear size 38, though I can still fit into my size 36 clothes. So my husband complains I have a lot of clothes, and so do a lot of my Asian friends. We all said, like, we keep buying more clothes, but we still have clothes that when we were like 25, let's say. So is it a good problem? Is it a bad problem? I don't know. So let's see. So I've done a poll on Facebook, and these are the kind of answers they have come up with. Okay, first of all, we do have a small gene. So I'm quite petite. I'm about 152, 5 foot tall, so I'm really tiny. My husband is almost 6 foot, so we are tiny. My mother is tinier than me. She's almost like a midget, really. She's a hobbit. She's really tiny, and of course with old age, she's with osteoporosis, she's gonna I can kind of hang my hand on her shoulder. Okay, so second answer is, okay, we all grew up in predominantly warm countries, meaning you sweat more, which is good for natural detoxing. We don't need saunas. We don't need to go to the gym, for example. You step out of your house. If you're going to work, in your nice, nice suit, and, within 5-10 minutes, I remember sweating my armpits off. Like, oh my God, like you wouldn't believe. People do wear like coats and suits and ties to work, for men generally. And for women, we do go to work wearing nice, like suits too. And you do get quite sweaty. You walk around from your home to the bus stop, and then, and then you only go to your air-conditioned office, and then you feel like, oh, okay, a little bit cooler now. And then you leave your office again to go look for lunch and everything. So you do sweat quite a lot. And, depending on the area where you live in Asia, whether it's Indonesia or something, if you live in the big cities like Bangkok or Kuala Lumpur or Singapore or Jakarta, maybe the air is not as fresh. But I remember being in, outside on the outskirts of Thailand, or in my grandmother's village in central Java, where the air is super clean. I remember my skin was just amazing because I was sweating. I was feeling so healthy. We walk a lot and everywhere else. And anyway, so third, this is the most important thing. Many of them repeated this as the main reason why they are so slim. Lots of chili and spicy food. I had one lady who said her German husband wants to eat often the vindaloo because he says, when I eat vindaloo, I go to the loo. So basically, chili has been proven by science to contain all the capsaicin in the chili, actually helps with detoxing and cleansing of your system. And well, it does help you go to the loo. I don't particularly like if the food is too spicy. But my husband and I, my husband is Danish and he loves his spicy food. And so we do buy, you know, bottles and bottles from the Asian shop, ready-made, what we call sambal, or like, you know, chili that has been grounded down and then it's been fried with like a special fermented prawn paste, maybe with some nuts or with some, you know, soya beans in there. Is really amazing. It's really yummy. We put that in everything, whether we're eating spaghetti bolognese or chili con carne. I put my Asian sambal in. Now, number 4 is we do a lot of home-cooked meals and we don't do much frozen ready-made meals. I guess you can say in places like, you know, Indonesia or Borneo or parts of Vietnam and Thailand and Malaysia, where, you know, I won't say it's poverty, but people are still not really, you know, flush with a lot of, you know, a lot of cash. So nobody really understands what is frozen ready-made meals like we do here in Europe or America. So generally everybody cooks from scratch, like, and probably it's, you know, it's from your garden. And you know, like I remember growing up that, you know, I had a huge garden in my kampong, in my little village, and my grandmother would say, all right, nip in and go and find some eggs and go and grab some lemongrass, go grab some basil and whatever. So whatever we eat come from our own garden. And you know, your lunch and your dinner is made from scratch. This is the reason why till today my children so used to me cooking, you know, every night we have freshly made food. And when we were homeschooling, lunch was also, so they got fresh hot meals twice a day. And of course I get them to help me with cooking, but generally that's the consensus. We do not buy lots of ready-made meals. Now, living in London where, you know, food is aplenty, you know, I don't really go out a lot to eat because I find the food not very tasty. When I do go out to eat, please don't think I'm being a snob. My husband and I tend to go for, like, you know, Michelin star restaurants or, you know, highly rated restaurants, because for me that is as close to well done, you know, like kind of home cooking. It's so yummy. You taste everything in there. You taste the spices, you taste all the herbs. When we go to normal restaurants or pubs, I find the food a bit bland. And this is the consensus with all my Southeast Asian friends, wherever they live in the world, whether they live in America, whether they live in you know, Norway or Russia or Australia or London, whatever. The consensus has been that most of them tend to cook at home. They don't really go out as much to eat. Also because it's expensive. We tend to have, you know, children, and I have 4 kids. It's so expensive and it gets a big mess when you take them out to the restaurant. So you want to stay home a little bit more. Anyway, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th secret is we eat more often but smaller portions. Okay, so when I was traveling in Southeast Asia last year for 6 weeks, and the year before for 2 months with my 3 children, while we were homeschooling, while I was writing my book, I actually ate 5 times a day and I lost weight. Like, I couldn't believe it. I came back to London within a month or 2. Oh well, because it was winter, I put on back like 5 pounds. Like bloody hell, it is impossible. I'm like so annoyed when I go back home, which home to me is like, what, Southeast Asia. I don't really know where it is home because my family is from all over. It's a diaspora of the Malay archipelago. I could eat like a lot of rice. I eat a lot of, like, you know, noodles, but then again, they tend to be healthier. Like I said, you know, even though it's ready-made meals, it was like freshly cooked by the hawkers or by the, you know, by the roadside stalls, and everything is hot and there's very little fat. You know, yeah. So and we tend to buy smaller portions. So of course it's cheaper that way. But do we really need big portions? I remember when I was visiting New York and I asked for Philly steak cheese sandwich, and I told the guy, no, please remove, that's too much meat, I can't. And the guy was like, lady, are you sure you want less meat? I mean, most of my customers want more meat and you're asking me to remove the meat. And I was like, yes, please, I cannot possibly waste all that meat because it's just gonna go in the bin. So I didn't know how to eat big portions until today. I'm more of a nibbler, and I think a lot of my Southeast Asian friends say the same thing. They tend to be nibblers. They're like little birds. They graze throughout the day. And there's been some studies that show that it's actually better to graze and nibble throughout the day than have like 3 big meal portions. Okay, and then the next tip is lots of water with lemon or lime. So there's been, you know, a lot of you hear a lot like saying, oh, when you wake up in the morning, have a glass of water with lime. But in Asia, especially my Chinese friends, they believe that drinking warm water with every meal helps to break down if there's any fats in the in your food content that we're eating in your stomach. I think it's pretty much an old wives' tale. Science has proven that it's not true. But drinking non-sugary, no pop drinks with lots of acidic drinks like lemon and lime has been shown to be really much more healthier for you. So I do drink a lot of lime and lemon water at home. Of course, it's a little bit sour, so I kind of put a little bit of syrup in there, with sparkling water. But yeah, a lot of if I go back to Asia, nobody really drinks, bottled drinks. Like for me, Coca-Cola is something I drink on holiday because when you're traveling, you walk a lot, you run around a lot, you do want something kind of sweet and sugary to give you back the energy, but it's not something I keep in my fridge, and my kids don't really know how to drink all this stuff. So tip number 7, no alcoholic beverages. So again, of course we live in Europe where it's very common to have your glass of wine, your margaritas, your whatever. But in Southeast Asia, we believe in things like, heaty and cooling food, and alcoholic beverages are considered heaty heaty food or heaty drinks. It means when you consume them, you get really hot, and it's not very good for you in a hot country to be even hotter internally. So we tend to drink a lot more, like I said, fresh juices like coconut water or lemongrass water. I used to love drinking sugarcane water, not sugarcane like the sugar, but the actual sugarcane which goes through a presser and then it comes up fresh. It's green in color, and then you put like big slices of lemon or lime in there. Oh my god, it is so yummy. But anyway, I'm digressing. Yeah, I don't normally drink in Southeast Asia because it's very expensive. So no one really drinks in Asia because the tax is so high, and also because, like I said, it is it's considered a heaty thing. Tip number 8, not much desserts or sweet treats. So example, in Europe, in America, like for example, cupcakes, right? It's thick, it's yummy, it's gooey, it's full of, you put like your chocolate icing on top. But when I was growing up, our dessert is either fresh fruits. For us, fruit is dessert. So when my mom buys me apple, it's like, ooh, we got apple because it's so expensive. Or we just get ourselves, again, it's watermelon or, rambutan, that hairy little red fruit, lychee, durian, whatever falls from our tree, which is in our huge garden. We have lots of fruit trees. Avocado, incidentally, is not a salad for me. It's a dessert. For us, avocado is a dessert. It's a fruit. So yeah, so when I was growing up, our kind of cupcake, our donut is made from tapioca. It's a very special kind of like Indonesian, Malaysian. It's made from tapioca, and it's like really raw, so it's really fibrous, and then it's just coated in a little bit of sugar, and that's our donut. It's not doughy like the American style donut. This is really fibrous and heavy, and you just take one and you're like, you're full. Anyway, tip number 9. We eat a lot of jamus for the Indonesians and the Borneans and Singaporeans and Malaysians, which is actually herbal concoction. So you take maybe like lemongrass and basil and all kinds of plant, and then you boil them for hours, and you turn them into a little ball, and you take them like a pill. My mother swears by them. My late grandmother swears by them. I was expected to take all these jamus because they slim you down, they cool you down, they take care of you like no other doctor's medicines out there. I guess it's kind of coming back, isn't it? People are talking about, THC, CBD, what is it called? Like, weed oil, cannabis oil, things like that. So we don't take weed in Asia. Let me just be sure about that. We're talking about jamu. Is like, again, it's basically taking a lot of herbs that has been dried off into a little pulp, and then you swallow that with your lemon water or your water, and then and we do have our little rituals that keep us slim. And the last tip is we go for more massages and self-care than our Western sisters. So if you go to, for example, Thailand or Malaysia, for example, or Vietnam, you will see massive amounts of massage parlors, and not of the naughty kind either. last lived in Kuala Lumpur before I moved to London, and I absolutely love it. Every week I'll just pop over while I've got my hair done in the salon. Somebody will be massaging my foot before giving me a nice pedicure. And then, you know, when I call my girlfriend on a Saturday night, like, oh, let's go for coffee, and then, you know, before that we'll go for a foot massage. We will sit in a massage parlor, like having like a tea time with two girls having like hot herbal tea, while two old Chinese guys are giving us deep foot rubs that's so sensually painful, but it's so yummy, it's so nice. So yeah, living in Europe means where cost of living is a lot higher. Nobody really just pops into like a, you know, into a massage parlor and just gets a body rub. But again, you know, I'm a trained massage therapist, and I find that, you know, the massage here in Europe does not really focus on, is more focused on relaxing, whereas in Southeast Asia, the massage is focused on detoxing, weight loss, slimming, and perking up of the boobs. Okay, this is the last tip from Honey. This is the absolute last tip, okay? You're gonna laugh, but it is serious because I do know it works. I talked about this in my other job as a love coach. We have lots of sex. Asian women, apparently, according to this group, according to this poll that I'm doing, they are not afraid to ask for sex from their partner. They said, you know, we know it works, it keeps us sweaty, it keeps us active, it gets the juices going, and if all else fail, we feel happy afterwards. So there you go, 11 tips from my fellow Southeast Asian women on the secrets to us staying slim for life. Now, will I stay slim for another 10 years? I don't know. My mom is quite overweight. You know, unfortunately, she's had, well, I can give you an excuse for her. She had a horrific accident. She, you know, kind of broke her hip and broke her back, and then she was in a wheelchair and then kind of went downhill from there. And then, you know, she had hypertension, she had all kinds of health issues, and she got depression, and that can cause you, you know, your health problem. So of course, be happy, be healthy, let's smile. And I know I don't say this in the tip, but my last tip is in Southeast Asia, there's a lot of social gathering, there's a lot of social network and emotional support, and that has been proven to actually make you happy. And when you're happy, you are healthy, and when you're healthy, you can possibly become slimmer than you would if you were to be living in a little cocoon by your own home by yourself with very little friends, no one to talk to, no one to inspire you, and no one to make you smile. So I hope I've been making you smile. Please don't think of this as a very scientific answer. This is for fun. This is for and giggles, and I hope you have fun listening to me babble on. If you haven't already subscribed, please click subscribe and then give me a thumbs up and tell me what your tips are, from which culture you are. I would love to hear your answers. Until the next video, toodly-doo, and have a great week further. Bye.